What is going on, friends? Sean Don coming back with a series of technical analyses this morning. It's January, late January, and people seem to finally be hopping on the train now that indoor season is here. They think, oh man, things aren't going the way that I thought. So they reach out to me, and I'm happy to help. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, my throws aren't going the way I thought they would be so far this early indoor competitive season, then reach out. Go to my website, gripandrip.co. Check out the slew of coaching services I have. You can get in-depth technical analysis like this. You can get throws programming, which has been really helpful for a lot of people, it seems, this indoor season so far. I've got a lot of people setting PRs and starting off the season pretty hot. So, yeah, go check it out, gripandrip.co. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, sean@gripandrip.co, or send me a DM on Instagram at SDThrows if you're interested. So here we have Terry Noyes, a Rip and Rip long-time client. It's been, I think, I don't know how many years. I've been helping him out every now and then with the technical analysis. Worked with him at a coaching clinic a couple years ago. So, yeah, let's get into it. Terry, let's see how things have been going. Nice and snowy where you're at. And I think this is a 35-pound, I believe. So let's take another look at it. Decent. You can see some orbit shifting 3-4, and then you see release goes down kind of like what would be the left sector line. So to me that says you're just a little bit unstable. So let's start breaking it down and see what we can do for you. I like your little setup here. Kettlebell, a little tiny short wire carabiner or something on the handle. But yeah, you got yourself a sling start. Starting left foot, what looks like at 0. It's just a little offset. Opening up pretty well, getting the weight back behind you, and then you see you rotating open, setting up that left side, starting the throw, pushing it through, and then left side's pretty stable. To me, it just looks like the orbit's a little bit short, so I'd try to hold this position with your shoulders open, facing what would be 270, what would be the right side of the cage if you had a cage. Trying to hold that position just a little bit more and cast the ball out away from you. Because as you can see, as you open up, the weight's always kind of behind you for the most part until it gets past 0. I think if you, like I said, open up those shoulders and you cast the ball out a little bit more, so through this area here, instead of kind of pulling it through 0, if you tried to push the ball out, cast it out away from you longer at 270, that might help set up things a little bit better, get the ball a little bit more with your upper body and your torso in general. That might help out a lot. And then as you're going through, like I said, you're setting up that left side pretty well. It's stable up until about this point. And then you can start to see it shifts back just a little bit. And then with that, if you look at your arms, it's kind of hard to tell with your black sweatshirt, but your arms looks like your right arm's a little tight still, or rather bent. And then you can see, like I said, that left side instability opening up, especially starting from the toe. You should be able to hold this left shoulder out over that left toe a little bit more and just find a little bit more stability in the body, because like I said, there's just a lot of rotation here, a lot of inefficient sort of movement, kind of giving to the ball, giving to the tension a little bit, and it looks like you don't really connect with the ball. Your arms really don't get straight until about here or so. Hard to say exactly, but the goal should be to kind of have your arms straightened out before the ball gets to 0. And you just really got to hold some tension in the body a little bit more. You get to hold your stability in the body a little bit more as the ball goes through 0, because like I said, you're kind of opening up and kind of turning ahead of it and kind of shifting back a little bit. And if you look at the hips, they're a little bit back. Not a big deal on the first turn, but we'll see what happens. Nice long double support, which has its drawbacks, but you can see that right foot kind of come off just as the ball passes 90, and you come off plantar flexed here, so you can see that toe down towards the ground. This position, going through single support, pretty chill. Real sneaky right leg there, so I like that. You catch, and you see you kind of, as you go to step, you kind of rotate this right foot just a little bit, kind of stepping around rather than stepping forward. So like this through here is pretty good. Then if you just thought about stepping straight forwards towards 180, landing with this right foot a little bit more open, kind of in the same direction as where this left foot is pointing, so more in that direction, I think it might give you a little bit more stability. Like I said, this pre-turn kind of shortens things up a little bit. And then from there, hands look a little bit down towards your hip level. I'd like to see them maybe up a little bit more. It's very subtle, but maybe up 5-6 inches. Think more like sternum height. As you can see, they're kind of hip height, maybe belly button height. And then when you catch, that left heel grounds 4-0, which is a good thing. Pretty stable. But then you can see you're just not getting the ball out over the left enough because you're a little bit back heavy on this right. You can see here, when that left heel grounds, you can see you never really have that entire left side stacked over it. It's very subtle. But as the ball is going through 0, you can see you're kind of already shifting your way back away from where you need to be. So you got to keep that left side a little bit more stable. Like I said, you're just kind of lacking stability in general with this 35-pound sort of implement. It is a little bit harder to find that stability. But the goal should be to catch, use this right leg to stabilize this left side, and then you need to hold tension in the body. You need to hold position like an isometric almost, where like you can see there's just a lot of movement going on here. Shifting back away from it, and then you can see as the ball actually does pass through 0, like I say, you're very back far on this right, countering it a lot. And then you can see the orbit gets a little bit shorter on the left. So if we keep our mouse right at the very end of the ball here, you can see it's not too bad. So it's decent through here, but I still think you could get the ball a little bit longer left in this second turn. Get a little bit more weight over that left side as the ball goes through 0, and find some more stability. Hips start to connect a little bit more, but you can see there's a little bit of like, you're kind of spinning out here. You can see your hips kind of shifting down and back away from the ball. And it looks like it's just very rotational. You need a little bit more direction. So what you could probably say is hold stability through 0 as the ball goes left. Feel the ball stretch out towards 90, and then feel the ball stretch down the right sector line. If you can feel the ball stretch down the right sector line and step forward towards it, you have a little bit better direction. And then, because as you get to here, it looks like there's really no pendulum backwards. There's really no direction, or not a lot of direction forwards and backwards through, or linearly through the throw. You're just kind of turning here, and then you can see there's, like I said, there's just really no pendulum backwards. You're not really working back against the ball, so you're just kind of rotating with it, and then the ball kind of passes through 90 and just goes right around to what would be the left sector line instead of stretching, like I said, towards that right sector line or towards 180, somewhere in this general vicinity. And then with that, you can see that right leg kind of get a little bit more behind, and then you go to catch. And this position is not bad. Like I said, you're sneaky with that right leg, which is good. I think you just need to get a better orbit on the ball, a better stretch in the ball, like I said, towards this general vicinity out here, right sector line, 180. Somewhere in there, you need to feel the orbit grow a little bit. You step, catch, hips are more or less underneath you, posture is pretty upright, maybe a little tiny bit over rotation. I like to see that right foot a little bit more in the direction of the sector. Like I said, that's a sign that the ball is pulling you towards the sector. You're getting good direction on it. And then as you go to catch and rotate through double support, you see you're finally starting to get back on the ball a little bit. All right. Right side up through the left shoulder is pretty connected. Then you can see that left side, that left foot, that left leg is just out a little bit farther from the rest of your body. So once again, your weight's a little bit heavy on this right side. And you see same sort of thing, just a lot of movement. You don't really get back on the ball until it's already gone down that left sector. So as you go through the end of this double support, once again, very back heavy on this right side. Plantar flexion coming off. And let's check the orbit here. So if we go back, back to the next turn, a little shorter, maybe a few inches, not a big deal. But then, like I said, just a lot of instability with you being a little bit of a smaller guy, throwing a 35-pound ball. This is going to be kind of a natural tendency. You have to counter the forces that the ball is creating. So with it being heavier and you being a little bit lighter, you're going to have to be back heavier on this right side, but it's just a matter of that stability. So you got to kind of fight the natural urge to really pull back on the ball and try to hold that stability through double support a little bit more. Like I said, it's just that left side's always kind of opening ahead of it. And with the orbit getting a little bit shorter here, you kind of see the same thing going on. Catch, it's like the ball just kind of goes right around. There's really no stretch forward. So you catch, left heel comes down, and now you start to see a little bit more connection here, but then the same sort of thing. You're good up until about this point, and then that left side just shifts back almost too dramatically, where you need to hold this position just and let the ball get ahead just a little bit more. Feel that stretch out around the left side. As you can see, you sit back on the ball and you get back on it when the ball's, like I said, already 60, 70 degrees after zero. So just a little unstable, and you can see this left side kind of pull a little bit more. Like, say you don't get back on the ball, that's a little bit late. And then same sort of thing. You can see now this right foot doesn't come off until the ball is past 90. And then you can see you get this little tilt in the shoulders, and you see the ball stretch down the left sector line. So you catch, you get a little hop or a little disconnect from the ground there at that left foot. You catch a little bit later. Right foot comes down here, but then by the time that left foot comes down, ball's a little bit late. So you're not really finding that stability in the final turn. At this point, there's not much tension in the body, so it's going to pull that left side even more. And you can see you're not getting back on the ball till it's way past zero. So then when you go to release, ball goes down left sector line. All right, so yeah, as I kind of said earlier in the video, biggest thing is finding stability in entry a little bit more. So once you hit this position, you have that stability there. You need to hold it and then let the ball pass a little bit more and stretch around the left side, stretch towards the right sector line, and then find some direction and think about, like I said, stepping forward. So it kind of all starts in this very first turn. You got get a little bit more direction, maybe lean back a little bit through the shoulders, through the torso, through the spine in general, not just the hips. Find that stability, find a little pendulum in direction, and then step forward towards the ball. And then from there, you just got to repeat it. So the entry, you just got to repeat that same sort of motion for 3 more turns, and then everything should be pretty good. It's when you start to, like I said, lose this direction, lose this tension, and hips aren't quite as connected as they need to be. Like I said, it just looks like you're kind of spinning out here, really rotational through there, instead of finding that good linear direction through the throw. So that just kind of repeats for the rest of the throw and kind of gets a little bit more dramatic as things continue to develop. An object in motion stays in motion, metaphorically speaking, in this sense. But yeah, pardon me. Hopefully this helps. All right, let me know if you have any questions, Terry. As you know, I'm always happy to help. And if anybody else out there, like I said, wants to up their throwing game this indoor season, hit me up, gripandrip.co. Go to my website, sign up for some coaching services. Shoot me a message on Instagram if you have any questions at SD Throws. Alrighty, thank you for watching. Until next time, Sean Don signing off.